this standard. And in fact, that is a good way to find some good deals. Now, I have gone with a power supply that does meet that standard. We also have an 80 plus gold rating for efficiency, which is a nice add-on for a power supply. I went with 850 watts instead of 750 because it was a $2 price difference when I ordered this last night. But that does mean that this system will be upgrade ready, which is nice. And one of the last cool features for a power supply is modularity, which means the plugs in the back of the power supply that route over and plug into your motherboard and everything else can be disconnected from the power supply side. That means you only plug in the cables that you need, and that can help reduce cable clutter. But again, that is not necessary for your PSU. So I'm going to link this one in the description, but I'll also put a couple other alternatives if you want to shave off $10, $20, or $30 from your build, especially if you're going with an AMD Radeon graphics card. Item number 6 is storage. Sometimes we talk about hard drives here, but honestly these days it's all about SSDs, and those come in 2 different varieties. For most builds right now, I recommend starting off with a single 2 terabyte NVMe SSD. This one is a 1 terabyte unit, but it does also have a Windows key on the back, which is why I chose it, because this build actually has a home that we have lined up for it. I'm going to tell you more about that in a second. The M.2 drives, which look kind of like a stick of gum, are cool because they're small. They can reach much higher speeds than SATA SSDs, but you are also limited to the number of M.2 slots on your motherboard, and most motherboards are going to have 2 or maybe 3 of those. So if you're looking for some additional storage, a 2.5-inch SSD like this one, which uses the SATA standard, is definitely a great way to add some storage onto your system, especially if you're planning on installing lots of games. Just note that these need to be plugged in separately. They have 2 plugs on the back. One is for the data that connects to the motherboard, and then the wider one here is for power, and that connects to the power supply. Now you could actually build this system with the 6 components I just listed for around $650 or so, and it would work because the AM5 CPUs actually have integrated graphics. So you can plug your monitor into the video out on the back of your motherboard's I/O, and you can get a functional system up and running. It just wouldn't be that great at gaming because integrated graphics are very good for 3D rasterization. So part number 7 is a video card.
30 seconds before you attack.
You should be able to build right now, but you can't really. For around $1,250 would feature an RX 9070 XT. I'm going to be using the PowerColor Reaper version of that. Again, should be $600. I don't recommend spending more than that. Do not pay the current ridiculous
The entertainment has arrived. Let's get this party started.
But the nice thing about GPUs is they pretty much all use a PCI Express by 16 connector,
The battle
which pretty much
starts in
any
5,
modern motherboard is going to have. So you don't
3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
You there. Let heaven and hell hear thy soar.
There we are. Roar.
I was fine, thank you. Keep your tentacles to yourself, Namor.
I am barely wounded.
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now.
This with the doctor.
Capture the mission area!
Sworn enemy.
Roar.
Alas, it seems Namor has unleashed his test. Namor, Daedon, wait, does that mean Ragnarok is coming?
Suppose that helps.
It's okay. Admit it. You need me.
You did that with your weak human eyes?
'Twas but a stretch.
There they are. Control seized.
I wish you had always been Asgard's ally.
Needed that boost.
I suck. I was worried.
What terror!
Hello, my baby. Hello, my baby.
I've still got songs to sing.
Hello, my baby.
Your team's capture progress has passed the halfway point. I like the cold.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my baby.
That's 3. I've still got songs to sing.
Group up with me.
Time to reap some souls.
They've almost got it! Be strong together. A nice deep breeze.
That was a little messed up.
Never miss.
And feast all my crows.
Feeling fantastic.
When I rise, they fall. You'll want to protect your rear.
You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner. Someone needs a snowball in the... We got it!
I'm hulking.
Control lost! You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
Just dying.
Snowball fight.
First time here?
I'm Luna Snow. Like the moon, I shine.
Even when the multiverse is in danger, family still comes first.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
You look disappointed, Sue. Have I done something wrong?
No, this just isn't exactly the date night I'd been hoping for.
You said you wanted to go dancing, then get a little action. That's exactly what we're doing.
You know, Reed, for someone so brilliant, it's amazing
battle
how
starts in
oblivious
5,
you can be.
4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
Among Asgardians, Loki has cleverness and Thor courage, but only I the vision to seize the future. Enemies perfect.
Armor packs here. Shield activated. Hey, Dee! Enjoy the amplifier!
That's what I was saying. The mission area is yours to capture now. Capture the mission area!
Let me guess, your Namor's friends? Psionic
Us against the world!
Oh my.
Jesus Christ, bro.
I'll fight for my family until the end.
Psionic surge!
Good medicine.
Your team's capture progress has passed the halfway point.
How does that get me, man?
Got you covered.
They've almost got it!
Good medicine. Enemy in front of us.
Clear the way!
Sorcerer after all. Healing.
A successful operation.
Feeling fantastic.
Feeling better already.
Let me guess. Your Namor's friends? Force burst.
Literally! Remind me never to go swimming again.
I am strengthened for battle.
Ow! That fucking hurt!
Never miss.
Us against the world!
We've got trouble.
Feeling better already.
Feeling fantastic.
You captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
Hey, Dee!
And this is why I chose Reed, Namor.
Ow.
Let the darkness take them.
What a relief! A force field!
Healing. Why would I need healing?
The area's almost yours!
Another fearsome blow. Disappear! Clearly you needed some
Guys are about to shoot at us.
Let's keep fighting until we have a winner.
Sea life.
I got you covered.
Let's go.
Even when you can't see me, I'll still make you believe.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
I've met many Supremes before, Strange. What makes you so special?
Because I'm a doctor, I pull people from your grip for a living. Also, I charge a lot.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
We'll do this the same way we always do. Together. They look like they need clear the way. Another fearsome foe.
What have you summoned now?
That's much better.
Good medicine.
Enemy located.
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now. Capture the mission area!
Healing. Why would I clear the way? What strange beasts from Midgard's depths?
What a relief! Well, at least the grossest part of
Feeling fantastic.
I unleash
Damn.
the vis-
By the...
I don't give up so easily.
Enjoy the amplifier!
Rocket, Rocket, Rocket.
I won't disappear so easily.
Fuck you, Rocket. Fuck you.
I become vulnerable.
Disappear! You captured more than half of the mission area.
The moon haunts you! The moon haunts you!
Double KO! Their team's capture progress has passed the halfway point.
My life force.
That fucking hurt!
Healing.
This is a nice spot. Feeling something?
Clearly you needed some help.
Almost got it!
Business.
Easy, Namor. Head switch.
This fucking Hulk, just get off my dick, bro, please.
Let's keep fighting until we have a winner.
See me again?
Armor patch here. Pay up.
Well, you can't expect to win them all.
Need to worry about compatibility there. You just need to make sure again that your power supply has enough wattage to power your graphics card, and you need to make sure that your graphics card fits in your case, which might have to do with the GPU's length, or it might have to do with the number of slots the GPU takes up or how thick it is. But thankfully Power Colors Reaper is a standard 2-slot card. It's not very large, so this should fit in most standard ATX cases, including the Fantex XD Pro. So those are the parts we're building with today, and this would also be my recommendation for anyone who's looking to build a really solid, middle-of-the-road, bang-for-the-buck PC, again, as soon as the GPU prices come down. But I also wanted to note that this system is going to have a home. We're building it for a specific purpose, and that is for Joe's good friend Laura, who he actually games with on a weekly basis. He records those sessions and he uploads those to his YouTube channel, so check that out if you are interested. But Laura has been gaming on a severely underpowered laptop, so this is going to be a huge upgrade for her. To begin, we're going to familiarize ourselves with our motherboard a little bit more, because this is where most stuff is going to plug into. On that, we have mounting for the heatsink fan. The 4 slots over here are for our DDR5 memory. Most full-size motherboards are going to have 4 slots. Some will only have 2. So we're only going to be using 2 of these 4 slots today, but it does give us the option to install a 4-stick kit in the future. The lower part of the motherboard here is all about expansion. So here's where you have your PCI Express slots. Those are the longer ones here. The top one is reinforced with metal, and that's where your GPU is typically going to go. Further down, we have more PCI Express expansion slots. These little short ones are by 1. This one is a by 4. This one is a full-length slot, but it's actually only wired up for by 4. Your motherboard manual or your spec sheet is absolutely going to be your friend in terms of determining how many expansion slots you have down here, as well as how they are wired up for connectivity, whether it's a by 16 slot with full bandwidth, or whether it's a by 1, by 4, or by 8 that's going to have a little bit less bandwidth, but still allow you to install something like a video capture card, for example. And then in between those slots on this board, we have M.2 slots, 1, 2, and actually a third up here that has a heatsink on it. So this is where we can install M.2 2 drives. They're held down by a single screw that goes down on that end. The little screws to secure that will be included with your motherboard accessories. That is one of the big differences from motherboard to motherboard, though, is how much expansion you have. The motherboard I have linked in the description is about $20 cheaper than this board, but it has 2 M.2 slots instead of 3. That motherboard does, however, have built-in Wi-Fi. That's one of the slightly more unique features of this board, is actually one more M.2 slot right here, but it's a short one. This is made so you could purchase a separate Wi-Fi card to add it on here, and you can even run the antenna from that back here to the motherboard I/O, so you can install mounting points for your antenna. It is nice to have a motherboard with built-in Wi-Fi support by default, but it's also really easy to add a USB Wi-Fi adapter to pretty much any motherboard that just plugs into one of your many USB slots on the back of the board. So if you get a motherboard that doesn't have Wi-Fi and you need it, don't worry, that's a quick and easy upgrade. And then along the edge of the motherboard, typically the bottom edge and the side edge, you will have a bunch more connection points for things like your front panel audio connectors for your case. These little guys are 3-pin RGB headers if you want to add some RGB bling to your system. You have little 4-pin connectors like this to connect fans to. You have USB headers to connect internal devices, or you can use these to enable USB ports on the front of your case. These are SATA ports, or serial ATA. You'll often have 4 or maybe 6 of these. There's actually a couple down here on the bottom edge, and then a couple side-facing ones right here. That's to provide a data connection for serial ATA, mechanical hard drives, and SSDs. Down here in the corner are front panel connectors that will connect your front panel power and reset button, as well as the LED. If you're lucky, your case will come with a block connector to plug that in, but sometimes you have to plug in individual leads. A couple more connectors for the front panel of your case. This is USB 3.0, so it provides more bandwidth than the USB 2.0 headers. And then this one is a USB 3.2 Gen 2. This could lead over to a Type-C port on your case. And then we have power connections for the power supply. A main 24-pin connector over here. And then up here along the top edge, you'll have some supplemental power that's just for the CPU. These are 8-pin connectors. You usually have at least one of these, and sometimes you'll have 2 for motherboards that have a bit beefier power delivery. Here's a closer look at some additional fan headers along the top edge of the motherboard. These are 4-pin, and the 2 stacked right next to each other here are specifically labeled for the CPU, so that's where we're going to plug in the fans for our CPU heatsink. And a lot of motherboards will give you an error message when you try to boot them up if you don't have a fan connected to cool your CPU. Finally, we have our I/O along the back. So this panel will fit through the back of your case and will give you connectivity externally. This motherboard has a fixed I/O shield, so that's this metal panel that goes around the outside that have labels and everything. Some motherboards, especially less expensive ones, do not have that prefixed, which means you need to find this panel in your accessories and install it into the back of your case before you drop in the motherboard. But here's also where you usually have a bunch of USB ports, often an Ethernet port for a hardwired connection to your router, as well as audio outs, and then this button over here, which allows you to update the motherboard's BIOS, or basic input-output system, without a CPU installed, which is very handy if you are having problems getting your system up and running. Oh, and I mentioned that most AM5 CPUs have integrated graphics, so if you're running without a discrete graphics card, there's an HDMI out so you can connect a monitor. We're going to start off by installing our CPU, our heatsink fan, our memory, and our SSD to get our motherboard all set up before we install the motherboard into the case. So let's begin with the CPU. We pop open the clamshell. We're going to hold the CPU by the sides and the edges. This metal piece on top is called a heat spreader, and that's going to make contact with your heatsink fan in order to help dissipate heat that builds up on the CPU. On the bottom, we have contact pads. This is an LGA CPU, so there are pins on the motherboard and pads on the CPU, and you want to make sure that you don't touch those pads because you don't want to get oils on it or anything like that. Also note that there's a notch on the top of the CPU and the bottom of the CPU that will align with the socket, and also note that there is a little gold triangle on one corner. So those are going to be your hints to make sure you're aligning and installing this properly. If you look at our cover for our socket, we also have a corner with a triangle. I recommend leaving the socket cover on while you do this. We're going to take this lever here, push down to the side and release it up. That is pressurized, so you're going to relieve some tension as that raises. And then we can lift up our socket cover like so. Again, there's a bunch of pins on that side on the motherboard, and those are very delicate. So you want to be careful during this stage of the build process so you don't damage them. Again, holding the CPU by the side, making sure that that arrow is lined up with the arrow that's also stamped on the very corner of this tray, if you can see that. Or just reality check that those notches on the bottom and top are lining up, and we drop it straight down into the socket. I will often give it just a light jiggle to make sure it's settled down in there. And then we can close the cover. Our latch here should catch the other side of that, and as we close it, it should pop the cover off. Like that. And again, it'll take a bit of pressure to get that arm back under its hook. All right, our CPU is now installed. Next, we're going to install our heatsink fan, and since we have a few different versions of this, I'm going to cover both of them. If you have a stock heatsink fan like this one, it will come with some thermal paste pre-applied to the bottom. This has been used, and I've cleaned the thermal paste off, but I'll show you a picture of one so you can get an idea of that. Don't touch the thermal paste, but note that it is convenient to have that pre-applied because it means you don't have to apply thermal paste to the CPU itself. AM5 and AM4 motherboards have these plastic retention mechanisms on either side of the socket. But funnily enough, a lot of heatsink fans actually don't use them, but some do. So you should get out the instruction manual for your heatsink fan, double check whether or not it uses these. For our purposes, for both this Wraith Stealth Cooler and the Thermalright one we're installing, neither of them actually use these retention brackets, but they do use the metal plates that's on the back of the motherboard, which will sometimes come loose after you remove those 4 screws, but this one is secured, which is actually kind of helpful. So if you're installing a stock heatsink fan with pre-applied thermal paste, it's pretty simple. We're just going to lower it straight down onto the socket, aligning the 4 screws with their 4 screw mounts. I'm going to...
Don't get cocky.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn."
Hello, baby girl.
Not a problem.
Minions have spawned.
Dangerous eyes. I like that. Step 2. Sure you can handle me?
¿Es fucking Día de los
Summoner?
Muertos 6?
Set sail.
No way, bro. Oh my god.
An ally has been slain.
You've got dangerous eyes. I like that. Set sail. Sure you can handle me, summoner? I know what I'm doing. I've got a good feeling about this.
Not bad.
An ally has been slain.
Step 2. Not a problem. Set sail. The song between us. Sure you can handle me, summoner?
An ally has been slain.
I always shoot first. I know what
That's
I'm
a pretty
doing.
cool skin that guy has.
I've got a good feeling about this.
Where the fuck is Rakan? Oh, it's not.
You've got dangerous eyes. I like that.
Nice.
Set sail.
Has been slain.
What the hell are you doing?
An enemy has been slain.
Oh my god, I can't believe I did not die.
An ally has been slain.
I know what I'm doing. You've got dangerous eyes. I like that.
Enemy killing spree.
I've got a good feeling about this. The fun begins. Not a problem.
Enemy rampage.
Step two.
He has 0 items and he does like 1,000,000 damage. What the fuck is that?
Don't get hurt making yourself. Set sail.
Has been slain.
I've got a good feeling about this.
This Rakan is so annoying.
Your turret has been destroyed.
You've got dangerous eyes. I like that.
happening mid?
Shut down. An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Sure you can handle me, summoner?
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Not a problem. I know what I'm doing.
The song between us.
I've got it.
Oh my god, this Senna's so fucking blind.
Your turret has been destroyed.
You've got danger in your eyes. I like that. Set sail.
Do we know they're...
Double kill.
This fucking Rakan, dude.
Step two.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Don't get caught. Sure you can handle me, summoner?
An enemy is dominating. Your team has destroyed a turret.
I know what I'm doing.
Hear the music.
This Windows 1 and 5, bro. Come on.
Not a problem.
Dude, he was bot lane. Why is he up here?
An enemy has been slain. dangerous, huh? Set sail. Step 2. Your turret has been destroyed. I know where an ally has been slain. Enemy double kill.
Sure you can handle me, summoner?
Dude, we haven't even
I've
taken
got
mid.
a
Are you
good
joking?
feeling about this.
It's so dangerous.
Not a problem.
Your team has destroyed a turret. Enemy double kill. An ally has been slain. Aced.
You've got dangerous eyes. Just like that.
Between us.
Win lane, lose game. Let's go.
Don't get cocky.
Doesn't own you. Shut down.
Jesus.
Nothing but power move.
Shut down.
No prey, no pay.
Knock. Dude, this Viego
I
got
know
zero
what
fucking
I'm
objectives.
doing.
That's insane.
good feeling about this.
Your team has destroyed a turret. Your turret has been destroyed. An ally has been slain.
Guns blazing.
An enemy is legendary. Your inhibitor has been destroyed.
This is so fucking pathetic.
Shut down.
You've got dangerous eyes. I like that.
We need to fight this or else we're screwed.
Step 2. The fun begins.
Your team has destroyed a turret. An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain.
You guys are so fucking stupid. There's Elder Dragon is up and you guys are fighting. Dumb fucks.
I've got a good feeling about this. Sure you can handle me, summoner?
An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain. Defeat.